The Boston Celtics hit the 40-20 mark about 2 or 3 games ago, but on Sunday they made sure the Knicks couldn't celebrate that same thing, even though they used to have Phil Jackson in their front office. We're going to talk about it right here, right now on the Celtics Chronicle. The Celtics have come back off All-Star break and they look just as good as they did going into it. Won both of their last games. Now they've beat the Knicks 3 times this season with a total of 63 points in advantage. They're plus 63 over those 3 games. I'm your boy Adam Taylor. I'm joined by my boy Billy Calabrese. Billy, I know you've been monitoring this 40-20 rule for a few weeks now. I know you kind of really buy into the idea of it. So why don't you take it away, let everybody know what the 40-20 rule is, why it's important, and why you've been tracking it.
Yeah, so it's something that I kind of just have like as a check mark for the season more so than anything else. It started, Phil Jackson coined it. It's 40 wins before 20 losses. 46 of the last 50 NBA champions had this, and that's during 82 game seasons, of course. Obviously, we had lockouts, we had situations where there weren't 82 game seasons. We're not going to count those. But essentially, if you go 40 and even 19, you had a 67% win percentage. That means you're winning most of your games at a high clip. And that's where really you want to be. And if you hit those marks, you're going to be what we'll call a real contender in Phil Jackson's rule book.
Right now, there's 3 teams that have done it. The other 2 teams that were close to pulling it off was, if I recall, the Memphis Grizzlies and the New York Knicks. Both of them lost on Sunday. That eliminated them from contention for that 40-20 mark. Teams that have succeeded this season, the Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Oklahoma City Thunder. No surprise that those are this year's big 3, with the Celtics shockingly being in third. But obviously, no Kristaps Porzingis to start the season. We had that slump from like December through to mid-January. There's mitigating factors. Drew Holiday, Sam Hauser. You can we're not making excuses. We're just saying there's mitigating factors. But the Celtics got there. They hit 40 wins before 20 losses. The Knicks, on the other hand, as we saw on Sunday, have some issues, and those issues have allowed them to lose 20 games before winning 40. I'm at the point now where I come into the season and I was pretty bullish on New York being a threat. I'm revising that as we speak. I'm questioning whether or not they're even going to be able to make it out like to the conference finals. Depend if they face Cleveland early, then they're going to be in problems. But Boston 40-20, how does that change or how does that kind of reaffirm your confidence going into the postseason?
I think it's important because it shows our focus. It shows that we're on pace. We're where we're supposed to be. As a defending champ, you can get into a lot of bad habits. You can get some laziness. You get complaciveness, or as Pat Riley called it, the disease of me, where everybody that sacrificed last year doesn't want to do the same kind of things this year. We haven't had any of that. And the other team that was on pace for a 40-20 that also got eliminated this weekend the day before on Saturday was Denver. So you had Denver, Memphis, and New York all like kind of clawing at that 40-20, but they would basically have had to win their last few games to get there, and all 3 of them lost. So we have 3 contenders this year.
Give us that stat again. What percentage of teams have won the championship after going 40-20?
It's over 90%. It's 46 out of 50 out of the last 50.
See, that's wild, man, because that's the last 50 years. So obviously, this is an important number in terms of just history backing up the data. I'm not going to say that I'm going to overlook teams that didn't get there. Like Denver are always going to be a threat because of Jokic. Do I think they're real contenders this year? No. I actually wrote about this during the off season, saying they were dealing with what I like to call small market syndrome. They won a championship, and then instead of doubling down, they started to kind of sell off some of their high role players, Bruce Brown, Kentavious Caldwell Pope. They just didn't pay what it needed to be to stay there. New York, again, I'm not really seeing them as a contender, but I'm not going to write them off. There's also teams that were struggling during the season. Golden State always find a way to be pesky if they make the postseason. The Lakers could be a threat. So I'm not writing these teams off that didn't hit 40-20, but it is very telling that the top 3 teams are the teams that have hit that mark this season and nobody else has managed to get there. There's a lot of parity in the league at the moment.
Yeah, it's all the teams you would expect. And the teams that haven't hit 40-20 historically that have done well are, say, defending champions or teams with championship experience. The biggest one people always point to is the 94 Rockets. On their repeat, it seemed like they had a huge championship hangover pretty much the first half of the season, and they were adding in Clyde Drexler, which was a completely different kind of look from what they had the previous year. But the other kind of teams that usually, don't hit the 40-20 that won the championship, they had championship players already on those teams. None of these teams that just got eliminated, besides Denver, would be the only one that would fit these qualifications.
Maybe Golden State too. I
Yes.
know
Yeah.
they didn't just get eliminated. They got eliminated early because they sucked. They've looked good since adding Jimmy. For Boston, though, this is a good omen. I think that when you look at the way they're playing right now, the defense they're playing, the way they've upped their overall production. Tatum finished Sunday's game 1 assist shy of another triple double. I've wrote in the Celtics Chronicle earlier to begin the season, like I had Tatum on triple double watch every night. It never worked out that way, but I feel like he's at a point now where triple doubles, the level he's playing at, are going to be a consistent threat every game. Uh, when it comes to this 40-20 rule, I don't think teams have pressure to hit it, but I think once you do hit it, it gives you that confidence boost. Like, yo, we're in that rarefied air, we're on the right track. The Celtics have really doubled down in recent games. I feel really confident heading into the stretch run.
Yeah, especially with only 25 games left. I don't really have any more benchmarks or anything for this team to prove during the regular season. Now it's just about staying healthy, playing good ball. The wins and losses will fall where they fall. But I do think that was the one thing that I did want them to achieve. Maybe be greedy. I would love to see him hit 60 wins. That one might be a little more of a stretch, probably on that 58, 59 range, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I was happy with like a 50 to 55 win season coming in. I always think 60 wins is great, but I think it's a tall ask, especially as defending champs when there's a championship hangover. There's always going to be some form of turbulence during a season, and the Celtics had that. So 50 to 55 wins, I'd be great. 40-20 hit, Celtics on track to potentially repeat. I'm feeling real good about it on this Monday morning. New York are feeling really sad, so I'm even happier right now. I'm looking at you, Knicks. With that being said, make sure you tune in tomorrow for our long form episode and Wednesday for our live stream. Most importantly, the Celtics Chronicle newsletters linked in the description. And more importantly, even most important, hit that subscribe button on your way out the door. We appreciate y'all. Billy, anything you want to say?
No, we'll see you guys soon. Hey, 40-20, 420.
Peace.